Hi, everyone. It's Caitlin. I am super excited to announce my new project, Offerings Oracle. Offerings Oracle is a 33-card full-color oracle deck meant to deepen your intimacy and connection to the good spirits who surround and support you. In order to make this new project a reality, I need your help. My Kickstarter launches on February 28th. You can learn more about Offerings Oracle and sign up for Kickstarter notifications at motherofmystics.com/offerings-oracle. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hermes, draw near, and to my prayer incline, in arts gymnastic and in fraud divine.
Dire weapon of the tongue which men revere, be present, Hermes, and thyself plant here.
Welcome to Third Eye Bind, episode 28, Boundaries and Protection.
Hi, I'm Laura.
And I'm Caitlin.
And welcome to Third Eye Bind.
In this episode, we are discussing boundaries and protection. Protection.
I don't know what's happening.
Superstar.
We noticed a lot of questions that have come in have to do with this topic. So we're gonna talk about it today.
We're gonna talk about it. But before we talk about it, we would like to thank you for watching and for listening. And we invite you to support us by liking this episode, leaving a comment, leaving a review, rating our show, and sharing it with your friends, your family, and really whomever.
Thank you for doing that because it's working.
It is working, yes.
So we really appreciate
We appreciate you. If you share us on social media, please tag us. We love it. We love reposting. We love seeing it. It's super fun.
Kind criticisms and kind props.
For sure. And if you love us, we invite you to please support us on Patreon at patreon.com/thirdeyebindpod.
For as little as $1 a month.
Yes. Anything helps. Everything helps. We are a self-funded independent podcast
/blog. I always say we're a podcast, but we're not just
We are a
podcast.
show.
We are a show.
This is a show. This is an experience.
This is a whole experience. We love when y'all watch us on your TV screens.
Yes.
It feels right.
It feels right. We're supposed to be on TV.
It feels
Here's
right.
the thing. Discovery Plus, HBO Max.
Yes.
We're supposed to be on TV.
We are. So thanks for literally putting us there. It makes us feel good.
It makes us feel really good.
Yeah. Boundaries and protection.
Boundaries and protection. Let's see what comes up in the cards. I honestly don't know.
There's a lot of ways to sort of go about this topic. So
is that it? No.
I'm interested to see where
this
goes.
No. That's it. Okay. Interesting. I pulled this card in a recent episode.
Really?
Yes. Is this the right card? Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I pulled the Hanged Man.
Oh.
At least I believe it to be my pain is self-chosen. Once again, I pulled the Hanged Man. I pulled this in the Mother episode this season.
Interesting.
And something that you mentioned about the Hanged Man is standing out to me right now, which is the Hanged Man inviting us to see things or consider things from an alternate perspective.
Yeah.
And when it comes to boundaries, it's not simply about creating them, but also about redefining them. And the way we can change the way we view our lives, change the way we view relationships by having boundaries or by expanding our boundaries or contracting them as needed. I also think that the Hanged Man reminds us of the importance of being still for a moment and taking some time to consider what boundaries and what protections we really do need to have in place, or what boundaries and protections aren't really serving us anymore, and it's time to like loosen up and change a little bit. And I do want to talk about the fluidity of boundaries, especially in relationship to the Trickster.
Yeah.
In this episode. So I'm excited to dig into this some more.
Let's dig into it.
Let's dig into it.
I love that the inability to move as the Hanged Man is really interesting to me as a busy person.
Yeah.
Like, as busy people, we don't often give ourselves the time to reevaluate these things, and then they get stepped on, and then we're like, shit.
We're like, why is this happening?
Yeah, those moments of stillness are important.
I also think it brings to mind for me, like, being in a position of vulnerability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, when you're stuck, when you're still, you're in this position of vulnerability, and it's when your boundaries and protections can help you the most. So that you're able to move through these periods of being vulnerable or being still.
Yeah.
So boundaries are full of contradictions, and it makes them by nature very mercurial. And in the book Trickster Makes the World Go Round, which is a book that really helped inspire this entire podcast, Lewis Hyde discusses how different tricksters in lore and legend, including Mercury, create new boundaries by disrupting ones that already exist. They challenge the status quo and create new realities by shaking the snow globe, as Laura likes to say.
Yeah. I was got excited. I do like to say that. Yes.
And I think that a lot of the conversation around boundaries right now, at least in the spaces that I move through, have very much to do with challenging the status quo, usually our families of origin. Or the ways that we perceive ourselves based on the way we grow up, the way we relate to other people based on the way we grow up. A lot of the boundaries I hear people talking about now are like setting boundaries with our parents, setting boundaries within certain friendships and relationships, and recognizing that we're honoring ourselves and protecting ourselves by doing these things, but we also might be upsetting people.
Yeah.
And challenging their perception of us by doing these things.
Yeah. I mean, when you change in any sort of way, whether that's evolving just as a person or like creating a new boundary, people don't often respond well to that. And it's because they're not able to like empathize with you for some reason, or they expect you to be in the same place as they are in order to like maintain a friendship, for instance, or because they're not ready to move on with themselves, or the change that you're creating somehow makes them feel insecure about whatever it is they're going through, as if to say like, oh, you're so this and that now, and what does that make me?
Bingo.
Yeah.
I think that's a big one. That's a big one. When we start to stand up for ourselves and say, like, this is something that doesn't work for me anymore.
Yeah.
I think that definitely mirrors back to others, like, oh, this is some stuff in my own world, in my own life, that now I have to confront. And maybe I don't want to. Maybe I wasn't ready to.
Yeah. I honestly see this a lot with like with non-binary folks, and like the pronouns thing, and the advancements that have been made in like gender and sex and all that kind of thing. Like, it really reminds me of like hearing all these things and being like, what the fuck is all this? And people, responding badly to it and just being like, what? Because it's like, you know what I mean? It like triggers something in them where it's like
they're being challenged.
The norm is being challenged
Exactly.
and changed. And people don't often like that, or it takes them a while to understand, which is what I think is going on.
Yeah.
When
my kids started to transition, it was something that They don't listen. My in-laws had trouble with and really continue to have trouble with 3 years later. Really, really struggle with even like just trying. And I remember one day I told my mother-in-law on the phone, I don't need you to understand. I just need you to participate.
Right.
Like, I don't need you to understand it, because that's what I kept hearing. We just don't understand. We just don't understand. And I'm like, I'm at the point, I don't care if you understand or not. But my boundary when it comes to my children and protecting them is that if you want to be in their lives, you have to participate.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get it. Even if you still think we're fucking crazy. If you want to spend time with them and be respectful of them, this is what you have to do. And we don't see them very often.
Yeah. And that's an example of like a boundary that you were being very like generous with, you know, just like, I don't need you to understand this, but I need you to like try.
Be a team player. Pretend. I don't care.
Yeah. And it's that's what first came to mind when you mentioned that in that way.
Or even like, you know, we've talked about it on the show before. You and I have both gone through like tower moments when it comes to close friendships.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I feel like a lot of those tower moments came on when I realized I needed to change some of the boundaries in our relationships.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to talk about certain things anymore. I couldn't be supportive of certain things. And in changing those boundaries, it changed the way people wanted to interact with me, and ultimately led to like a lot of friendship breakups for me, which was for the better. But at the time it felt awful.
Yeah. And, you know, what happened to me was a direct result of me putting up a boundary, like a business boundary, like a bringing up something about money, of course. And then, you know, people don't know how to express themselves, and things sort of snowball, and it's good. But I think it is a direct it's like that reflection. It's like you're not putting up boundaries to upset other people. They're for us. And within hearing that this new boundary's been created, that might get your mind thinking, oh, wait, like, why do they need this boundary? What's wrong with me? And then that leads to a lot of like gaslighting, and, you know, you're the problem for putting up the boundary. And it's like the act of, it's like, no, this happened to family members of mine too. And it's just like, wow, like the simple act of me saying like, you're like, one of my relatives had like a very aggressive, dangerous partner, and I uninvited them from something, and just saying like, hey, this person is an alcoholic and is out of control. They're not, I am putting up this boundary so they're not around my family, with whom some are POC and blended, and I'm not going to have this racist piece of shit around them.
Seems like and they only prove you right.
Into just the ultimate, just like, you don't know, blah blah blah. You're freaking out, blah, blah. Like, and just it's just like, well, goodbye then.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it ends to a small, very manageable boundary, like a very small boundary. They turn it into cutting you off.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's for the better. But it's unfortunate when people can't, you know, take responsibility for things. And people in their life that they let into their lives. It's really sad.
I went through something similar with my uncle. I call him my aunt's husband.
Right.
We are not related by blood.
Yeah.
But just so many things that I don't agree with. And I offered to have like conversations with him about it, and he, like, this almost 70-year-old man lost his fucking mind on me. Lost his mind, started sending me these insane barraging me with text messages, insulting me, telling me I'm not going to listen to a fucking witch, just like like completely off his rocker, like ignorant shit. And I was like, cool, I don't ever need to talk to you again. Here's the thing. I've tolerated you for 33 years.
Right.
And I am now an adult and I don't need to do that anymore.
No. I don't use Facebook because of my family. Like not all of them, but it's just not. I don't need to know all these things about you guys. Like I don't
feel like if you're not like white or mixed
much.
with white and an American who's pissed off part of their family, then like you're not doing your part.
You're not doing your part. Have you cut off uncles? I don't know.
Because if you haven't yet, you need to try a little harder.
I mean, I got some family members that are Trumpy, and not many, and not by blood, but you know, it's just really weird shit, and I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
It also protects me from just hating them more.
Totally.
And then it protects my relationships with other members of my family who I love and adore.
Yeah.
Maybe related to those people. So it just protects, it's the boundary I needed.
It protects your peace of mind.
It's the best decision I ever made was
absolutely.
I have Facebook because of Lady Moonco and because Facebook owns Instagram and blah, blah, blah. Like I have to have it.
Yeah.
But boundaries with that just was everything. It's like 4 years since I've gone on, and my family has a family page. It's really funny because my dad, I love my dad if you're listening, he's not the greatest communicator in the world. So like things will happen, he's like, what, didn't you know, he like won't tell me, you know, and I'm like, I didn't, Dad, you have to tell me these things. I'm not on Facebook.
I'm not in the Facebook group.
Can everyone just send snail mail like they used to? Like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on, and I kind of like it that way.
Yeah.
But this just, and for the most part, everyone, I think, understands. They probably talk shit about me behind my back, but I don't care. But yeah, it's, but especially when you're going through, I put up real strong boundaries even with people I care about when I'm like going through depression. Big time. I will ghost, like I will be a ghost for a while. And some people don't respond well to that. I understand, but you know, I don't know. I'm someone who's very quick to support people's boundaries. I don't need a lot from people a lot of the time, and I don't know. I guess I'm a pretty secure person for the most part, so I don't know. It's just sort of, I know how it feels to, you know, it's like check on your friends that like don't do that. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of a thing where some people don't put up boundaries when they need to.
Yeah.
Right? Like when your mental health is bad, people will overcompensate and like be bubbly and out there. I don't know how people, I'm definitely not like that. You will know how I feel at all times. At all times. I don't hide anything, but some people are very good at that. And so I think it is important for people to remember, magically or not, like these are they're tools, right? Because if you don't, people don't know. They're tools for people to let people know what's going on with you too and where you're at. Like ideally that's what they do, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Something that just popped into my head.
Pants are real tight. Just kind of like.
I had a pair of pants like that planned for this episode and I had to ditch them. I'm like, I just can't. If I can't stand and breathe, I'm not going to be able to sit and breathe.
I can breathe. It's just, there's a crease in my vagina that's just like real hard. Hold on. We're just going to fix it. Don't cut this out. I see you writing that down. All right. I've adjusted.
We have to make that a reel.
That's better. You know that hard crease?
Absolutely. I know what you mean.
That was right up in there.
It's rude.
We're good now. It's off to the side.
When it happens while you're driving.
I literally don't wear jeans ever.
Yeah.
Except for today, apparently.
Yeah. But it's a look.
It's a look. It's fine.
Yeah,
I try for you guys, you know, at home. Anyway,
something that popped up in my head was I used to have really poor boundaries at work. And like I worked for people who were very much like, you're our family, you're our family, you're our family. It's a trap. and I would tell them too much information about what was going on in my
Yeah.
life, and all of that stuff would get weaponized and used against me. And after that experience, I learned to keep like my personal life very, very, very private from my bosses.
Echo that 100%, and also redefine that as business friends versus real friends.
Yeah.
Business work. My Instagram business friends are my business friends. Like I also made that mistake, and it was weaponized against me as well. So yes.
Yeah.
Whether it's your employer or you're self-employed and you're
Like colleague type of person.
Yeah, colleagues or your bosses. Like that's
Ooh,
for sure.
because it's hurtful
It's very hurtful.
when it comes back to you.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this a bit in our last episode on the business of witchcraft, but boundaries in our spiritual practices as self-employed magical people, as magical business owners, are really important. Like spiritual practitioners, magical people, we need time that's private with our spirits, with our magic, with our practice. We need time that's private with our altars. We need rituals that are kept to ourselves, that are personal and dear to our hearts. And like, that's the stuff that replenishes us. And not everything needs to be shared, in my opinion. It just doesn't.
No, I agree. And I know, and look, like if you're honestly straight up, like I see people, all they do is post spells and ritual while they're doing them. Look, I know the amount of focus it takes to execute a spell with potency. And I can tell you right now, holding your phone up and worrying about what it looks like is not going to make that very strong. So unless it's like a demo, which I respect that. But also, I just wonder how when these creators actually take the time to like do things for themselves, because like you've talked about with spirits and spirit guides, not all of them want you to show all your cards. Like some of them like to be seen and named and thrown flowers, but not all of them do. And for me, it's just not, it's not right. It's not where it's at. It doesn't make me feel authentic to like
I agree.
behave like that. So it's honestly how I feel when I see people doing that.
Yeah. I really just think you can't, and maybe I'm wrong. I feel like you can't multitask while you're doing magic.
Not in that way.
No.
I mean, I honestly, it's a focus.
You have to be all in.
Yes.
And like, I'm the type of person that like, I can listen to a TV show, have a conversation, and do something on my computer and check Instagram at the same time. And I know what's going on in every single direction. I think that's also part of just like growing up in a Cuban house. Like you have 10 different conversations going at the same time and everybody's fucking yelling.
Yeah.
But like, I focus best when I'm multitasking. But when I'm at my altar, like my spirit's like, put your phone down. Like immediately. Put your phone down.
Yeah.
Put that away. Like this is the only thing we're doing right now. This is it.
Like the focus is the power. Like the focus is the magic. Like how do you take that away and film it with one hand? How?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm not as powerful as some of those people. I highly
Maybe that's
doubt
what it
that's
is.
it. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just suck.
Maybe I've just
Maybe 'cause I
sucked
wasn't-
all these years.
I wasn't born into a generation that had a phone in their hands. Like,
That's true. Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's for me, it's not for me. And if it's something you're doing, then, make sure you're protecting yourself, because showing a bunch of strangers your magic, it doesn't feel, I don't know.
It
Just
leaves
beware.
it open to like attack. Like
Yeah, an
if you're showing off your
opinion.
altar, if you're showing off your rituals, you're talking about everything that you're doing, it leaves it very much open to like evil eyes who want to cast against you, work against you, pray against you. And like, that's a bummer.
That's a bummer, and it's scary because people are
on the TikTok especially.
yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it's just really, I don't know how younger generations like handle that. And
Me
maybe
either.
you have secrets that you're not telling us older folk, but it's
We'd love to know.
but yeah, it's very interesting to see that happening so frequently, because it's like if you don't share something, then it didn't happen. It's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one sees it, does it still fall? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Before Instagram, we used to say twit pic or it didn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, it's Instagramming every part of your life is not great, but I understand the pull to do it because it gets attention, and I understand.
Yeah.
that. But it's a
I
balance.
used to put my whole life on Tumblr. I used to put my whole life on Tumblr. Everything.
Everything. That's funny.
And it was wonderful and horrible.
Yeah, oversharing is dangerous.
It's so dangerous.
It's weird.
It's wild.
We live in a weird, strange time where, I think I've said this before too, I think in 50 years we're going to look back and think, how in the hell did we survive that? There's going to be sanctions in place or some shit against the amount of time we can. There'll be a mental health war, like
5150, but for internet use.
There's probably already that happening, but I don't know.
Do you remember when like the internet was first getting started and everyone was like, never make an email with your real name? Never
No.
do a username with your real name. That was something that was very much drilled into me. And I remember when I started applying for jobs, I was like, I don't think I'm going to get hired if I keep using this like XOXO Cuban girl
69.
1121 at gmail.com,
Yeah.
626 at gmail.com,
I do
at hotmail.com.
because it was was it because of the chat rooms and the dangers of the chat
Yeah,
rooms?
they're like, you're
I
not
remember that.
ever allowed to say who you actually
Yeah.
are online.
Yeah, or where you live, or
Yeah.
how old you are, even though ASL
And now we're like,
definitely
I'm
happened.
live streaming.
This is where I am in the world. You can find me here. Like, we can't wait to get the monetization of privacy just popped in my head.
Ooh,
Like that term.
That's interesting. Write that down.
Trademark, copy. Monetization of privacy.com.
You know, one of my boundaries with social media is that if I'm taking pictures out of place or like documenting my time in a place, I won't post until I'm long gone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't post until after I
good.
leave.
That's good.
So that no one can find me.
Oh, that's, yeah.
I don't want people to ever just show up where I am.
And they might, because you're psychic.
I went
see
through
me
the
at Target
days
sometimes.
I went through the days of like oversharing on MySpace, oversharing on Twitter, oversharing on Tumblr, and people would come up to me all of the time. Like, not to sound obnoxious, but people would come up to me all of the time at bars, at clubs, at my job, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you're da da da," and I was
my
like,
gosh. Yeah. I don't
Shoe
think
girl.
I ever.
They used to call me Shoe Girl.
Oh, Shoe Girl, that's right. The only time I've been, who knows, weird. I ran into someone twice at 2 different places in LA, a follower.
Really?
But I didn't tell them where I was, did I? I might have. No, I didn't. But
Just
yeah,
a
it's always at Target. It's always when I look like shit. It's never anything cool. They'll be like, I thought I saw you.
You've got
At
like
Target, were you just at the
adult
Target?
diapers in your cart.
I'm all, it's all extra heavy flow. I don't give a fuck. But
Prune
yeah,
juice.
so now I try to spruce myself up a little bit before I go
Just in case.
to Target, because in case somebody will find me.
Yeah.
Because it happens.
It does.
Like, it happens.
Target,
like,
it's always Target.
are you Lady Moonco? Yeah. Can you hold my acne cream while I give you a hug or
My
something?
preparation H.
my yeah. Oh my God.
Another boundary that I have is you talked about never showing your altars. I built an altar that is specifically for being seen on camera.
I love that.
Like, that is what it's for. I put exactly what the spirits told me I'm allowed to put on it. And it is not like it's not my main altar. It's not any of my special altars. It is the as seen on TV altar.
That's fucking genius. Genius. Everyone do that. Like a ghost altar.
Literally, yeah.
Like it's like a facade altar. Like, oh, I love that because you can make an altar for that reason.
Exactly.
Like not all altars need to be hit. Like you can make them for different reasons and for different things. So the fact that you have one that's like meant to be seen and shown is fucking smart.
I love that because I feel like showing my real altars is like showing my heart.
Yes, it's like showing you. I was thinking like brain center or heart
Yes,
center. Like
both.
it's very
like that's not for you.
powerful. Look at that flame. Look at that one.
I know.
Hi.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay. Oh, yeah. Do you read flames?
Sometimes.
That one really caught my eye.
How do you make two Geminis quiet?
Put fire in front of them. Well, thank you, candle.
Blowing my mind right now.
Whoa. It's like really, I think everybody can see this.
People comment about the flames.
Okay, well, since the flames are such a point of interest, look at my flame. Or, oh, it's a big flame. It's just a big, they're at the same height too.
No, that's crazy.
That was something. What that's very cool.
I can see like a little figure
The dudes in the comments are like, it's a fucking flame! What are these
CGI. It's
people?
fake.
CGI. It's an AI flame.
AI flame. Like Kim Kardashian's tears on the Kardashians
Are they
are
fake?
CGI.
I mean, look.
We have CGI flames.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's done. But yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
Then the other one started dancing.
Oh.
Well, we're doing something right.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
But like, okay, so there's that, and then which I totally forgot we were talking about, but like then there's boundaries with like when you're practicing magic, right? Mm-hmm. There's the boundaries that we all know and love, hopefully, which consist of like whether it's casting a circle or a boundary. That's a boundary. Or cleansing your space, that's a boundary. Or cleansing yourself, that's a boundary, right? Like
Psychic and spiritual protection is a way that you can create boundaries that help to only allow in that which you desire to connect with and to conjure. I come from a tradition that has a lot of guidelines when it comes to connecting with spirits and connecting with prayer and magic. And these guidelines are set in place because they protect us. And, you know, maybe it is casting a circle, or for me, I say incantations at the beginning of all of my spell work or channeling work, and then I say a closing incantation at the end. And that makes sure that as I'm calling people in, opening up the circle, I'm saying exactly who I'm reaching out to, specific types of spirits, specific types of guides. And then when I close the circle, I return anything that doesn't belong to me. So if I'm working with a client, I'm sending their spirits back to them. If I'm just working with myself, or maybe some spirits of outside of my court, I'm sending them back to whatever realms they're from, so that I don't have anything hanging out.
very smart.
And also, like, okay, when I first started channeling through the tarot, I didn't even realize I was doing it. So I didn't have that same structure to my readings. And I would have like really distressed spirits coming through. Really distressed spirits coming through for people. And it would be so taxing on my body and like on my brain. And it was just hard. And I wasn't able to like effectively communicate the healing messages that were needed because I was so drained by those spirits.
Right.
And now when I work with people and I have troubled or lost spirits come through, like I see them, it's almost like, you know, the plexiglass at the bank. It's like they're on the other side of the plexiglass and I can see them and I can talk about them and describe them. But who I'm hearing, who's next to me, are my main guides, and they're telling me these are the ways we remediate through this. This is how we help the client and how we help the spirit. And I'm not drained by them anymore.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, I couldn't do my job if I didn't have that practice in place of opening and closing my circle in a very specific way.
That sounds like you have very strict, very strict boundaries with it. Because I think I asked you once, like, they're like, mediums that just go into haunted places and pick up what's there. They want to pick up what's there.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. And you were like, that's not for me. You know what I mean? Like, just sort of strange spirits. Like, that's interesting how different mediums use different boundaries and have different, because they're not all the same, right? Like, we're not going to bring Caitlin to a haunted house and just be like, go see what you tell me what you see.
I will be waiting outside with a churro. I'll see you when you're done.
Churro. Right.
Yeah, like that really is one of my boundaries, though. Like places that are very psychically or spiritually active, unless my guides tell me you need to see this, I don't need it. I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
I don't need to go in there. It's not for me. I don't even like pretend haunted houses.
Oh my God. I don't either, but
it's not for me.
It's because I'm scared. I don't see anything.
I will pee my pants.
That's so funny. It's interesting though, because some people, that is their work, to go, and they're like, that's what they do. It's like just different tastes and different things and different, it's interesting how that works.
And like, okay, boundaries are fluid. That's a really important thing about them. And as much as if there's a house that's like, this is a haunted hotspot, I will say no thank you. But if a client calls me and says, I think there's something paranormal going on in my home, will you come help me?
Like, what do you say?
I'll do a little divination, and if my guides say, yeah, you can help, then I'll go over there. And then we begin the process of whatever remediation is necessary. And it's not always exorcism. I perform more exorcisms on people than on places. Sometimes it's wild. I love performing exorcisms. But often, like, it's more about forming conscious communion and relationships with the spirits that are present. And I think it's important for budding mediums, especially if you're interested in that type of work, to remember that, like, we are on stolen land in a nation that was built on the backs of indigenous people and enslaved African people. There are going to be angry spirits wherever you live. There are going to be restless spirits wherever you live. And we need to stop and consider that maybe it's not something that needs to be banished, but someone who is in need of some sort of care, attention
to be heard, and then
tenderness,
understanding. A lot of that.
That's where my boundaries are kind of fluid, I guess, in that way. I won't go into a haunted hotspot, but I will go into a client's possibly haunted house.
That's fair.
And I tell my kids all the time, everything's haunted. Like, I don't need to go in there. Like, the whole world, spirits are everywhere.
And you're like, they're everywhere, and they're just, that's so wild.
What are some methods of spiritual protection that you like to use?
I definitely like speaking intent out loud, like an incantation or something. I like casting circles. I like knowing that the space directly around me is protected. Even though I don't see ghosties, I know they're there, and
because you have good boundaries.
And cleansing before something, whether it's like smoke or fire or water, air, whatever, like, I'm big on the circles. I also like doing like visualization things, like where I will imagine the circle being cast in my mind's eye. Sometimes it doesn't need to be literal. It's usually not literal. I don't like surround myself with brooms like practical magic, although I'm down for that.
It would be cool though.
Although that's totally valid. Totally
Yeah.
valid. But it's more about definitely something at the beginning. Speak, like calling in like good shit, keeping the bad shit out. And then just like trusting that works. Like trusting that it worked. Because like belief is a very strong, powerful thing. Like that's a whole ass part of it, is believing what you're doing is working.
Absolutely.
So that goes for protection as well.
I think like faith in the work that you do and visualization, like you said, like those are the most powerful tools that we have in any magic, but in protection magic as well.
Yeah, like imagining like chords. And it's funny, I've been listening to a lot of ghosty stuff, but the medium in the ghosty show I've been listening to, like if a spirit is like attached to a person, they will like remove it, like cut it away. And like just the visualizations that she asks the person to visualize, like the client to visualize while she's doing it, is really cool and important, that they also visualize it, you know, coming apart as well. Like it's not just her visualizing it. Like I would imagine you do that too with your clients, like having them do some of that work if it's about them, especially, you know, because that's powerful.
It is.
It's this, it seems like, you know, trivial, but it's not. Like that's so important too. And if I worked with clients, I would do that too, you know? It's like you have the power just as much as I do, like especially if it's a problem that you're having that I'm helping with, like and then, you know, hoping they understand, just like if they're ever feeling like unprotected, that they have these like specific visuals they can go back to, that they always can have, because you always have that with you, and you can always
mind,
imagine
it's
something.
always there. Yes. Absolutely.
You don't need to grab a smoke or a water or whatever. Like you can just always have it, you know.
Some of my favorite visualizations for spiritual protection, I like to visualize like big angel wings wrapping around me, or wrapping around my house, or wrapping around my kids. I like to visualize a pentagram coming down and forming like a circle around my space. I like to visualize this like thick gold orb forming around my space.
Gold is like the color I picture too.
I love gold for protection.
white.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes
so
like a mirror. I've had certain clients, like their guides will say that they want them to surround themselves with like a mirrored orb so that it reflects back to whomever is sending something their way.
And this is a good segue into the protection portion of this episode. I love mirrors. Not everyone does, and I understand why. They're mimics. Like it's creepster. If you see ghosties, I'm sure it's not the greatest thing. It's like Bloody Mary, you know, like look in the mirror. There's a lot of like mirrors are powerful. Did you do that?
No, never, because I
did
knew
once.
better.
It was fucking terrifying.
I knew not to call upon spirits that were not mine. And one day,
Good for you.
Lola came home from school and they were talking about like, Josie told me about Bloody Mary. And I was like, we do not call upon spirits we do not know.
No.
And we especially do not call upon distressed spirits we do not know.
With a lot of folklore behind them.
Okay, Mom.
There's a reason why that story gets passed on.
Like, don't you ever.
It was terrifying.
I bet. Fuck no, that shit's not for me.
Yeah, it was honestly, you know, elementary school things, like they are powerful. That age is so, I was so open at that age.
Yes.
A lot of weird shit happened to me and my friend because I did not have boundaries in place. other than my spirit's probably going, no, don't fucking do that. Oh my God. Shit. Like I really had to learn them. And my friend and I, we got really into witchcraft and we would, oh man, it's really
Did
bad.
you do light as a feather, stiff as a board?
No, it was worse than that. This was like elementary school. It's just like your kids' age.
Yeah.
And we had our own language and like we would.
Was it light language?
Look, we'll talk. I'll bring this up again in the next episode because it's relevant and I have a theory. But we would do spells and we created this like story about this like random woman, and I'm not even gonna say what the fuck her name was, but like it was like this, she was like our teacher and like she would like teach us things and like I don't know, but we gave her like an identity of like a real person that had died, but I don't know if they were the same person or not. But like we were so into it, and like I remember this, oh God, this one day, oh God, it's scary.
You don't have to share it.
No, I want to share it.
Okay.
This one day at school, we were fucking with some weird shit. We were in the bathroom and all of a sudden I turn around and my friend's like face has totally changed. This is probably one of the most, if only the only supernatural things that's happened to me. She looked at me and she punched me in the stomach.
Because it wasn't
punched
her.
me in the stomach and it was not her. And it was, I swear that happened. And she was a hyper kid, but not a violent person by any means.
It wasn't
We didn't play like that. It was not her. And just the feeling of it, like heightened feelings are heightened when you're a kid, but like it was like evil. And evil in the sense of like bad. Not, I don't know, whatever it was not positive.
There are malicious entities.
It was malicious. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to be like, it was a demon, but like, it could have been a low vibrational situation latching onto our openness.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
And because we had no protection, it was more about what can we make happen? This is fun. Never fucked with like a spirit board or anything, but it was probably a similar situation where it was just, I was a witch like already like very open and like into that, and then eventually we stopped playing that way, but that really happened.
Damn.
It really happened. Yeah, I've not talked about that a lot, but she punched me in the stomach. Crazy.
Fuck.
Yeah, violent.
Something that a lot of my clients who are psychically and spiritually sensitive have in common is these really frightening occurrences as children. Because when we grow up, whether it's in Christianity or without religion, like we are not taught how to spiritually protect and defend ourselves, and kids are so open anyway, and if you have that added layer of being psychically or spiritually sensitive, then it makes you even more open. And like I've experienced scary things and I've heard of so many other scary experiences. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm teaching my kids how to protect themselves spiritually, because it's true, like you're vulnerable.
Even if you're just playing,
you are vulnerable.
You are vulnerable. You are just like this thing. And even as humans,
Just
we're
a little
vulnerable.
baby.
Just a little. When I was little, I remember like I always had to have my covers up over, maybe you did this too, up over my ears or over my head.
Me
because
too.
I would hear things.
I slept with the covers over my head.
My audience is like loud.
Yeah.
Like clair audience, right? Like I would hear whispering and shit, and I knew that there was shit there, and that sort of faded away as I got older or whatever. It didn't stick very strongly for whatever reason, but yeah, I mean, that's still the thing if anything, I'm going to hear something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see anything, but
I remember when I was little, I would get really scared in the dark, and I would start to pray. I would start to say the Hail Mary, and then I could hear it being whispered in my ear as I was praying it, and like I'm gonna cry. Like it scared the shit out of me. it seemed like I was just like, this is fucking terrifying. But then as an adult in my spiritual practice, I started laughing one day when I realized, like, when I pray, my spirits are like 2 lines ahead of me.
Yeah.
And like whispering it in my ears. And I was like, oh, they were praying with me. They were praying with me. And I was so scared because I just didn't know. And even with the openness that we had in our home, I was still like, how do I tell my parents about this?
I don't think I ever did. I had a lot of trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
And like, but I think I mentioned this before. My mom would literally do spells on me before I went to bed. And when she started doing that, it stopped. It was like literal fucking magic, Dina. She watches this shit. She's like,
We love you, Dina.
I love you, Dina. But yeah, she would just be like, I don't remember it fully, but it was like we're taking all the stars from all the sky and all the things and we're sprinkling it on you. It was essentially something like, it was fucking magic. And my dad used to sing me a song. Like, it was just very pure.
I think that bedtime rituals, whether we are parents or children or adults, are such a beautiful way to spiritually protect ourselves. Like, sleep is vulnerable.
It is.
Like, it freaks me out to think about it sometimes.
I know, right? Like, I'm just laying there, like, asleep.
I have a hard time sleeping, especially now that I have kids. Like, sometimes when I can't sleep, I'll go lay in their room with them. So if I hear them breathing, I can sleep. I'm fine.
It's funny, if I hear my husband breathing because he snores, I can't sleep.
Well, for me, like, once
kidding.
Brian starts snoring, that's when I can sleep. I'm like, I need to hear everybody breathing. That's why I love going on
That's
vacation,
nice.
because we share a hotel room and I can hear
so everyone's
everybody
there.
breathing.
I really trying to like and be like, oh, it's comforting to know that he's breathing.
You're like, shut the fuck up.
But it's hard. It's,
But I'm
funny.
also a snorer, so maybe that's why it's fine with me.
maybe.
But I think like bedtime rituals are so beautiful and such like a loving and tender way to incorporate spiritual protection into your life. Even if that's the only thing you do is like say something magical, like covering ourselves in the stardust before night or saying a traditional prayer if that's something that vibes with you. That's
why people like pray, pray, traditionally that image of someone on their bed praying at night,
The last line of the Hail Mary used to really scare me when I was a kid.
What is it?
If I die before I wake.
Oh, pray the Lord my soul to take.
Yeah.
It's like, what if you have an aneurysm in your nighttime?
The Hail Mary, but there's a line like that in the Hail Mary too. But the sleep prayer was like, now I lay me down to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I pray
That's
the
the
Lord
only
my
one
soul
I
to
know.
keep.
Sorry.
But that was scary.
That is kind of
If
heavy.
I die before I wake, I'm 5.
Hey, well, that was probably written at a time where that was very plausible.
Like the plague.
Like the plague and shit. Like, I got a bad infection and this might go down tonight. I don't know.
We like to say the Hail Holy Queen because it's not as scary.
Cool.
It's really pretty, and it's a prayer to Mary, and it is one that's usually used at bedtime. So that's something we'll say at bedtime, and then we'll say like, thank you. We'd like do a little gratitude. Thank you for protecting us. Thank you for watching over us. And then in the morning, when I pour coffee for my spirits, I thank them for watching over us and protecting us. And a line that I teach my clients to use, and one that I use often, is thank you for keeping me out of sight, mind, and reach of those who would do me harm intentionally or otherwise. And like that line is magic. It is powerful.
Out of reach. Or out of sight or out of reach?
Out of sight and out of reach.
And out of reach. Yeah. That's a nice bookend to the day and to the beginning of the day.
I kind of imagine it as like an invisibility cloak or like a glamour.
Yes.
Like those people just can't see me.
Yeah. That's really cool. And those little things like make a big difference.
Yes.
Like showing gratitude to your spirits in whatever way that you can. I'll pop in my office and be like, hey, what's up? Good morning. Like I'll like talk to them and be like, cool. And then I spend time in there, like whether it's like meditating or doing a little quick yogi or like working out. I do it in front of my altar, and that's
quality time.
Yeah, that's just like I'm all working out for them, and they're like, you can't lift those 12 pounds yet.
Working and jerking for the Lord.
Working and jerking for the Lord right there. They see it all.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. I'm sure it's entertaining.
It is, and they love to be entertained.
Yeah, so it's in my altar's in my office, so that's kind of my little room.
I think you make a good point, though, that like spiritual protection doesn't always have to be an elaborate ceremony or ritual.
No.
It can be if that's what you're called to do, if you feel like you need to, but it can really just be a simple daily thing that is a part of what you're doing anyway. And I find that that's when it's most effective, when you attach your spiritual protection to something that you're doing anyway, because you don't want to only be protected when you're casting spells. You want to be protected every day, all the time.
The shower is a big thing for me. I'm a night showerer. So like, the shower is very cleansing to me. Like that's a boundary. That's protection. That's a reset for me. And my bathroom is absolutely a little magical space.
Your bathroom is a little temple. It really is.
I really love my bathroom. So
I don't shower at night because El Coco gets you if you shower.
Oh no, El Coco's gonna get me. Tell me more.
In Cuba, they call him El Coco, but I think in Puerto Rico, he's El Cucuy.
El Cucuy. I've heard of El Cucuy.
Yeah. I like don't close my eyes when I shower.
Oh, yeah.
To this day, I am 33 years old.
Does he like the shower?
And if I shower, I think it's because you're in a vulnerable position.
Oh. You know? At night when the spirits are out. Got it.
It's dark. It's spooky. You're naked.
Not
it's
gonna
slippery.
Get me.
Not gonna get me.
Never.
I'll wash my hair in the morning.
I used to be afraid of the showers too, though.
Yeah. I also feel like that's like an autistic thing.
Oh, well, that
we just don't like the shower.
I like the shower, but I was now I do, but I have a clear shower curtain for a reason.
Yeah. I need to see what's going on. Yes.
Don't like not seeing it.
I don't like not seeing things.
And I have like an intense fear of sharks. And when I was younger, like I would imagine I was in like a shark tank, and that there would be like a shark cage.
Yeah.
Like the shower was a shark cage because it's the same shape.
Because it protected you.
I guarantee someone out there's felt the same way. And because there's going to be a shark come and, just float through the air and get me. Yeah. Yeah.
Little
Baths
mermaid.
Too.
Yeah.
Baths too. I have some fucking trauma with the ocean. Okay. That's all I know in my past incarnations.
Yeah. I liked the ocean in my past incarnations, but in my current one, I have a healthy fear of it.
No, I lived in the, I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
It was cool, but then I died in it.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, baths are kind of scary sometimes.
I feel you.
The shot. Oh my God. Pools. I can't close my eyes if I go in a pool. I feel like I'm in the ocean.
I don't get all the way in.
I don't like to go all the way underwater.
It's not for me.
It freaks me out.
I really like rivers. I like the river.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more shallow.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more clear.
I like a lake moment.
I'm into that.
I'll kayak on a lake.
Lakes freak me
No lakes?
out. Nope.
I like a lake.
Don't like it.
They're murky. I like it.
Too many spirits
like
in there.
A river. You like the moving water?
I like the moving water.
Yeah.
Keeps it moving. It's fresh.
I like a big lake or a waterfall. I just jumped in a waterfall a few days ago.
That big lake in Yosemite.
Oh God, I'm not going to that lake.
I don't like it.
Not that one. There's one by my mom's house. I do know what you're talking about. No, Yosemite is fucking scary.
No, I like the river there. That's it.
Yeah. Wow. I haven't thought about that lake that's a big ass lake.
It's a big lake, and it doesn't look like it wants people to swim in it. And yet,
look, Yosemite is sacred territory.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily our territory.
I could hear like this is a cemetery.
Yes.
This is a cemetery. When I was standing in front of that lake, and I'm just like, what? My husband's like, I'm gonna jump in. And I was like,
yeah. I mean, people do jump in.
They do.
A lot of people go missing in Yosemite, okay?
For a reason.
They do. And yes, for a reason. Oh, goodness. We should do an episode on forests.
We should do an episode on forests.
Okay, we will.
It's like an expansion pack on the cryptid episode.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Yes.
Yeah. We will next season 4.
Some other ways that I like to incorporate spiritual protection into my life is I like to do visualizations of like fiery walls. I like put my hands down at the bottom. I do it when I'm standing, feet firmly planted on the floor, and I reach out my hands and I visualize that I'm lifting up fire up the walls of my house.
Ooh, yeah.
All the way up, these fiery walls of protection. And then I will do a cross up and down, and then I will do like an X like this, so that there's like bars across it. And then I visualize that I'm pushing like steel against that. So it's like these layers. And I will go around the house like once a month and do that on every wall that faces the outside.
I like that.
I really like that. I do it to my mirrors too.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I should probably do that.
I love mirrors personally, but mirrors are portals.
Yeah, they are. And
if you don't cleanse them and like lock them, I call it locking them regularly, then like people just be like, hello. Spirits just start popping through.
I do love a mirror. I like to draw symbols on the doorways, like the front door in white chalk. If you have white walls, you can do, and you want to be secrecy about it, you can use white on white. It's still fine. Or you can do different color. I did that once when my altar was in the other room that had a darker green wall. I did it looked cool.
Yeah.
You can draw symbols of protection. I like to put broom around up above my door frame.
I do that
too. In certain places. The front door specifically.
Yeah, me too.
And I have one on my porch too. So everyone knows I'm a witch.
In case you weren't
okay, can I
sure.
tell you a funny story?
Absolutely.
Though? So the woman who sometimes, and her mom sometimes clean our house. And they're super nice. They've been coming for like a few times a year for like the past few years. And I was all, hey, I had to cancel a day. And I was like, hey, sorry. Her mom's name is Maria. And like, I was like, can you tell your mom, like, so she has to tell her mom, like, oh, she canceled. And she sent the message to me instead of her mom. And I didn't even tell Mike this. And she said, in Spanish, the witch needs to cancel Monday. And I was laughing. So I didn't say anything. I was just like, oh.
You're like, yeah.
Obviously, if you've cleaned my home,
it's not a secret in Laura's house.
It's obvious, especially if you're like spending time like, yeah. No, it was so fun. Because I always wondered,
funny.
like, do they care? I know they know, but like, they call me the witch. Like, that's what they call me.
I have this Brazilian couple who
was hilarious.
Adore, Diana and her husband, and they come every once in a while to clean our house too. And like, I'm obsessed with Diana, and I'm always really afraid of having people over in general because like my altar is not like the crystal altar you see on the internet. Okay, like Laura's seen my altar. A few people have seen. There's like spirit dolls on. There's shit that some people would look and they might be confused and or horrified. And like it's a cultural thing. Okay, so anyway, I'm like afraid but I need help. I need this woman's help. And so Diana comes in and she's like communicating to me in broken Spanish and I'm communicating to her in broken Portuguese because she's from Brazil and like I'm Cuban and Mexican. But she comes over to my altar and she's like, I vacuum. And she cleaned my altars for me. She knew what was up. Like Diana knew exactly what was going on. And like she took care of my altars for me. And I was just like, oh, what a relief.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so
now
funny,
I want to
Laura.
ask.
Oh my God.
I know. It was so funny. I was like, I've arrived. I'm a real witch now.
I'm a real witch now.
I just never thought. I never thought about it too much because I'm like, they've been coming for like years.
Yeah.
Like they must have figured this out by now. But it's funny that it's like that's how they know.
That's your name in their address book. It's La Bruja.
La Brujita, I think was the term.
That's cute. Oh, they called you Brujita. That means that's loving.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Brujita.
That means you're cute.
Like, cute little witch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They're not like
No,
afraid
they're
of you,
super
which is
nice.
good.
They like me. It's
Yeah.
just like
That's cute.
I was just like, oh, it's never been spoken of.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
One protection technique that I learned from Dion Fortune's Psychic Self-Defense, which
Ooh, yeah, that
recommended
book.
reading. Check it out. Granted, it was written in the like turn of the century.
It's not perfection.
Not Y2K.
What?
Not that turn of the century.
Oh, I was all, what are you talking about?
Like the 1800s.
1899.
Exactly. There you go. Party like it's 1899.
I would like to party for one day. Maybe I don't actually.
Not
No,
really.
I don't. I don't. I'd be tied to a stake.
Spanish flu. It's
Yeah, it would
just
not be
everything
good.
seems bad about that.
I'd be hunted. It's all bad. That's a book I need to try and find. That's cool.
So you can usually find it on like used book websites, and if you buy it new, it's usually pretty expensive. But I found 2 copies for $2.
Okay, well.
So anyway, it's a great book if you are looking for inspiration that is like psychic and spiritual self-defense that's not specific to any sort of spiritual practice. You don't so much have to worry about appropriation. But a technique that I love from that book is dipping your finger in water and drawing a pentagram, and the point goes out towards what you're protecting yourself from. So if you're doing it on the inside of your front door, the point of the pentagram points to the front door, right? Or the example is that he's staying at this house with all these people who are doing like paranormal shit. It's like The Haunting.
Oh, is this the one where there's a person in the house he's protecting himself from?
Yes, have I talked about this
you
before?
have.
Yeah, and she's like chasing him around with a knife. So then
Yeah.
he does the pentagram in water that he actually learned from his mentor, and he points the point in towards her door so that she can't come out at night, and like it works. But that's a really easy way to also protect yourself. Like, look, we don't all live in super cozy, warm, comfortable situations. And if you're trying to keep people out of your room or keep people in theirs, that is a very helpful tool for you to work with. And it is unseen, most importantly. You can do it without anybody ever knowing it.
Yeah, I like the protection magic where it's like just sneaky.
Me too.
I like that because as soon as you advertise it, post about it, tell someone about it, it risks it being found out because if you're protecting yourself from someone, they're likely trying to hurt you in some sort of way. And you don't want them to know that
How you're doing it.
you know, or how you're doing it, or that you're the one that's behind it. 'Cause then that could be that could be dangerous. But about that too, like, you can make up your own protection shit. Like, make up your own ritual. Like, make up your own way of protecting yourself. Like, you have the power to do that.
in your imagination.
In your
You don't even
imagination.
need stuff.
No, like the person that thought of the water thing, that's such a simple thing. And it's so effective. Like, you can think of things like that aren't pulling from cultures or whatever that aren't yours. Like, you can think of, like, make up your own stuff, you know, like, it's fun and like personalized, and chances are if it's coming from you, it's real potent and like maybe guided or divine it or guide, you know, something from your guides, or channel it or something. Like, that's fun for me.
I agree.
I prefer doing that. Sometimes even in the moment, I do that shit.
Yeah,
I don't plan
spontaneous
it.
magic.
You know, I love it. Don't know what's gonna happen. Like, yeah, if you've been doing it for a long ass time, you need to keep yourself entertained and protected. You can make it up as you go along.
I really like protective talismans too.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
The kind you
need
put
to wear
around
mine.
your home, but really like the kind you wear on your body.
Yeah.
That are touching your skin. And it can be a necklace you wear every day. It can be your glasses if you wear glasses all of the time. A ring. If you come from like the Catholic tradition, a scapular is a really great
Scapula?
thing. A scapular.
What's the
So a
scapula?
scapular
What's a scapular?
is a piece of
Scalpel?
like Catholic iconography, and it's 2 strings, and on each side of the 2 strings there's like these little squares of fabric, and there's usually like a saint.
Do you wear it on your neck?
And you wear it on your neck.
My dad wears one of those.
And one goes on the
he's
front.
Catholic convert.
Yeah, and one goes on the back, and you wear it inside your clothes, so it's touching your skin.
My daddy's protected.
Yeah.
Wonder what
and,
saints are. I'm gonna ask him.
a prayer.
I'm gonna ask him for specifics in front of my stepmom.
What you got on that?
I'm like, tell me more. He's like, she makes me wear it. My stepmom's like, what the fuck? She's cool. She's Catholic as fuck. We like her though.
Yeah,
that's
Catholicism
funny.
is cool. But yeah, scapulars because they touch your skin. If you wear waist beads, you can enchant your waist beads. Like all of these different things that you are wearing more often than not are really excellent things to say prayers of protection over.
Can you enchant an IUD?
Maybe before it goes in.
I'm just thinking of weird things to like enchant to protect you.
Maybe before it goes in.
I like wearing there. I have a few like I don't wear them enough. See, I need to wear like crystals, which we'll do an episode on next season.
Yes.
But I do have a few heavy weighted. I like the heavy weight of something that can also be used as a weapon if I need it to be. So there's these cute little like pocket knives necklaces that I've seen people have. I think that's a great like literal interpretation of, or a heavy crystal or a rock that you find and you can fashion into a necklace. I don't know.
On the altar of one of my protection spirits, I draped a rosary, and the crucifix is a switchblade.
That's so cool.
It's fucking cool.
Yes.
And that's like what she has over her.
That's rad. Actual weapons can be jewelry.
Yeah. I bought it for myself, and she was like, that's for me.
That's for me. Thank you. I have several knives. Yes. Yeah. Daggers.
Also, by the way, like arm your spirits. This is something that I learned in my tradition, but it's something that anybody can do. If you have altars for your guardian spirits, your warrior spirits, put a dagger on it, put a knife on it, put an axe on it, whatever their preferred weapon of choice is, put that on. Obviously, like if you have kids in your house, be mindful of this. But putting actual weapons or representations of those weapons on their altars, when you arm your spirits, you make them stronger in their abilities to protect you.
Yeah. So. I've been very much called to do archery lately, like to practice the thing that my spirit, like one of them literally does, or to get like a bow and arrow, but like it's very large, and I'm trying to think of like a good way to incorporate that or to just practice it. You know what I mean? Like I really want to get into that.
Okay. It's funny that you said that.
Why?
Because I found this charm, and it's not mine. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's real gold or not. But it's an archer in like
not.
a woven circle. And I was like, I need to take this to Laura. I need to take this to Laura. I need to take this to
Shut
Laura.
up.
Yeah. I don't know if I put it in my bag or not, but
That's so weird.
it's for you when I remember to bring it.
Well, that's great.
When I first looked, I was like, is this Cupid? And I was like, no, it's for Laura.
It's for Laura. Yeah, the bow and arrow, like I've just been very into like I've been like, you need to get that, you need to get me that, or you need to do that. Like that's the next step.
Yeah.
That's
or even
the next
like
level.
if you can't find a weapon to put on your altar.
I want a weapon.
Like printing out a picture or creating
Yeah.
art of that weapon, painting an image of the bow and arrow and putting it on their altar also helps to arm your spirits well. So
I should probably
symbols
fashion a
work.
bow and arrow out of sticks, which
Yeah.
I very
You
it's
could
very
do it,
easy
yeah.
to do. Good. Yeah, on my to-do list. Very important.
Ooh, with everything else.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Another one of my favorite things to use for protection are mirrors. Mirror magic. It's different for everyone, I've found that people I talk to have very specific boundaries with mirrors, and I totally respect that. I don't. So I just love mirrors, and I, of course, cleanse them and make sure they're like safe for me or whatever. But like, I like that they reflect back. I think there's something really powerful about, I like having them on my altar. I like having them when I do magic. And I know that sounds kind of wild because you're like, that's a portal and that, you know, things can come in and out of, but like it amplifies it for me. Like that's just what it does. I love having like literally right in front of me. Like I'm not staring at myself like, oh wow, I'm so pretty while
But you can like catch it in your periph while you're
candlelight is doubled. Like everything is doubled for me. And I just really enjoy that. But also for protection, like, ooh, there's some fun stuff you can do with the mirror.
I agree.
You can do some fun things with just amplifying shit back on somebody. Which we did talk about in our what was
in one of our episodes we talked about it.
In the first season we talked about protecting yourself and how that's not like hexing and
baneful magic, which is a great episode.
And how it's a misunderstood concept and vilified concept, but that protecting yourself and rebelling and saying no is like important.
It is.
And necessary for the world we live in.
Mirrors are delicious. I love mirrors.
I know they're all the things, and I'm okay with it.
But that's okay. Yeah.
But
I have mirrors on my altar too.
They're just so fucking cool. Yeah. So, you know what? Someone brought up, or I saw someone post about recently. There's this show on the Disney Channel, and I don't know what it was called, but it was like the beginning of my mirror obsession. It was really old.
Adventures in Wonderland. I immediately know what you're talking. You used to have to wake up early to watch it.
Oh my God. The way she'd get to Wonderland was she'd walk through the mirror and she would just walk through, and it's the beginning. And when I was little, the amount of times I tried to do that, look.
I loved that show so much. It was so cool and so weird. And it was amazing.
That she would walk through it and then just be there. Like I would try to do it.
Her outfit, that was the fashion.
So good.
The fashion. I hope I can find it on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
Google Adventures in Wonderland. Everybody,
like
treat
intro
yourself
or something. Like that's magical. Like
it really was.
Really caught my attention and stuck in my mind.
Me too. Forever in the back of my brain. Yeah, that's so funny.
So, you know, everyone's relationship to objects is different. That doesn't mean that we can't get along. So let's be understanding that not all witches are the same. And not your way of practicing is maybe not for everyone else, you know. So.
But do what feels right for you.
But just don't get angry at people for, you know, maybe doing something a little slightly different. For using a mirror. Scary because they're fun.
I love mirrors. I do.
So we don't have any spirit candy because we're gonna go eat a spirit Sammy that we have in the kitchen. We're hungry. Our spirits are hungry, and so are we.
And so are we.
So we will bid you adieu. Thank you.
Farewell. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Please leave us more questions on the third eye line because we don't have any more for you. So until next time.
Goodbye.
Let's walk through the mirror. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow the podcast at Third Eye Bind Pod on Instagram. There, submit your questions via the Third Eye line by sending us a voice message or text DM. The show is available wherever you listen to podcasts and for you to watch on YouTube. Get early access to episodes and even monthly one-on-one sessions with us by joining our Patreon. Find us at patreon.com/thirdeyebind. Third Eye Bind is produced and edited by Mike Realm. Hosted by Caitlin Grania and Laura Wong. Music by Mike Realm. Set design by Laura Wong. You can find Laura on Instagram at Lady Moon Co. And you can find Caitlin at caitlin.grania.